go out? Huh? You're sitting there looking at me and I'm waiting to make my coffee. I know you're a lovely wee bird. But you shouldn't trust humans that much. No. Now come on. I've opened the window, look. I've opened the window up there. Yeah. And I've opened the windows over there. Oh, I think I'll have to catch you, won't I? That's all right, I know what to do. I'll put a wee tea towel over you. So I'm going round to visit my son and daughter-in-law, and I've picked some flowers from my garden and wrapped it in this floral wrap, which, believe it or not, I brought from London 21 years ago, and I'm still using it. I remember at the time it seemed to cost a fortune. I think I paid £18 for it. But my, oh my, have I got the mileage out of that. So I'm just standing them in water here in the shade for a little while until I'm ready to go. Well, back home now, I'm just taking Patsy for a little walk, a little dander. She's been a very good girl. Normally she does a protest pee when I leave her in the cottage. But recently she stopped doing that, which I think is a really good sign that she's settled in, maybe. I don't know. What do you think? Anyway, I brought some washing round for 2 quick washes in the machine. My son has solar panels on his roof and he said, oh, come round because it's all free electricity and I've no water. Do you know what really lifts my spirits? Is that there are so many insects around this year. It looks as though the ecosystem has repaired itself. Because in previous years, I mean, there was always insects here at the Cottage because of the way I plant and I grow and everything is organic and nothing is killed. And there are lots of habitat piles and absolutely masses and masses of places for insects to breed and to overwinter. But outside, driving along the road, I'm coming back home with lots of little insects around the front of the car. Now, I haven't seen that in years. Now, I know that here in the Republic of Ireland, which is the south of Ireland, as they say, the government for quite some time now, for many years, has put in place, in fact, consecutive governments have put in place mandates such as the hedgerows and the road verges are not to be cut between, I think it's April and late August or September. So all that has a cumulative effect on the insect population being able to thrive as opposed to having to struggle. Now, I know also that the farming here is quite pastoral. It's about animals and livestock rather than tillage. In this part of the country anyway. I know that in other parts of the country there's quite a lot of tillage. But nature is left alone much of the time when there is just a pastoral form of farming. Anyway, I thought I'd mention that because there appears to be a lot of despair, so myself included previously, about our precious planet, our precious Earth, and what we're doing to it. So what I'm saying is that we can repair. I mean, obviously what I've done here on the 3 acres has been complete repair, complete restoration, and now thriving beyond all expectations. And that's what I set out to prove, that, you could repair, you could bring back nature in all its incredibly beautiful forms. Anyway, I just thought I'd pass that one on and share it with you. I've noticed this summer there's a lot more bees, and I mean bumblebees. I'm not seeing too many honeybees. In fact, I've only seen a few over recent weeks. Mostly what I'm seeing are ginormous bumblebees. Those are the wild bees, of course. So that means that the population of wild bees here at the Cottage has increased. I'd say probably doubled. I'm walking through the woodland and seeing aspects of, fallen trees, etc. And you know that I'm leaving most of them. I want to see how things pan out. Because sometimes nature throws up the most unexpected delights when it comes to fallen trees. You remember the story of the rowan tree here? And I think that within all that landscape, which seems a little bit chaotic to the human eye, because we're used to governing things and controlling things, which is not the way forward, by the way. Within that landscape, there's a massive potential for increasing biodiversity. Well, I've just washed my hair. I've used the Kelly kettle to warm up about half the water. Didn't want it too hot. And I put the water into the basin, and I've used my little jug here for wetting my hair and then for rinsing it. And there's the towel drying on the bench. So I think all in all I've done okay. So I'll have nice clean hair now. I've also been having body washes out here as well, which is grand. How did people cope and live a good and a clean life, before we had the piped water? Yeah, anyway. Feeling great now my hair's clean. Well, I've resigned myself to losing some of my plants, but not the ones that are in the ground or the ones that are in the pots. But plants like the geranium. But then what I'll do is I'll cut them back, and when the rain comes, they'll just regrow again. The drought is forecast to last, I think, possibly another 5-6 days, maybe even 10 days. They keep moving the date of expected rain forward. So when I've been getting on with things here and, cutting the hedges, tidying up. Well, I'm not doing too much tidying up, because you shouldn't really do that during a drought. Leave as much on the ground as you can. and then that protects the ground from drying up. I'll probably lose some of these little apples, but I think generally there's going to be a fantastic crop anyway, so there'll be no significant loss there. The roses are responding really well now to the new archway, and there seems to be lots of buds. I'm slowly training them across the top of the arch. The birds, there's no loss in them at all, because the ground around the trees and the shrubs, you know, like in here, nice and damp, still lots of foraging for them. It's amazing how much the plants and the trees protect the earth and protect the wildlife. You know, it's not just people saying, oh, you know, we've got to do this and got to do that. It's actually common sense, you know, when you look at it, it's just common sense. And see all these little dogwoods that I pruned back really hard, they're all coming on. So that's lovely. Lots of good things happening. So yeah, a drought, but it'll be over. It'll be over at some point. Been pruning back these hedges as well. Those birds are crazy. And the oak tree, where the big main stem snapped, it's still attached, by the way. It appears to be leafing out. So again, you know, we'll just wait and see. Patience, as they say, is a virtue, isn't it? Yeah. So we'll just walk round to the front of the cottage in this beautiful morning light. I love the light in the morning, you know, it just highlights so many different subtle shades of green and bronze. Yeah. Now I must get some water onto those pots of birch. I have a sort of a priority list, you know. I sort of look around in the morning to see how different plants are doing, and I think to myself, well, that particular plant needs a wee bit more water, and it's given out very sparingly. I'm very sparing with the water, but so far everything's okay. I put that rhododendron into that big pot, give it lots of water, so that's doing okay. Of course, the beautiful oxeye daisies seem to thrive on little or nothing. One of the reasons why they're one of my favourite wildflowers, because they're just so resilient. And of course they are loved by the insects and the bees, and yeah, this is my new little garden here, and that's doing okay. That's holding up well. Yeah. This bed here, I haven't given it any water whatsoever. It is edged with stones, so there's a certain amount of moisture kept in there. But again, it's just a case of wait and see and, you know, hope for the best.